Alright, last problem on the study guide. We just want to set up some parameters for defining this sneaky little triangle. We're told that angle A is 28 degrees and side B is 18 centimeters. I guess I didn't tell you centimeters, whatever. 18 centimeters. And we want to know what are the possible measures of side A being that dinky little thing right there, so that you get these specific triangles. So part A is saying that we want to make it so that, give a side length for A that makes it so this triangle doesn't even exist. So think about it like this. Imagine for a moment, actually don't imagine for a moment, let's start with this. Remember from geometry that the shortest distance between two places, is a straight line. In this case, we're going to be talking about perpendicular distance will be the shortest distance. So if you imagine that right triangle right there, that would give us the shortest possible side length for A to still have a triangle. So let's do some right triangle trig here. That side A, that is the opposite side from that angle 28, and we have the hypotenuse. So let's go sine of 28 equals opposite, which is our A value, over the hypotenuse, 18. So multiply by 18 on both sides to get A. And you should find that the value A to give us a right triangle is 8.450. Now, that's actually the answer to B. So for B, we can say that A equals 8.45. That will give us a right triangle. But we're going to use that for part A too, because we want this triangle not to exist. And if that right distance, that perpendicular distance, is going to give us the shortest distance to that point C up there, well, if we're smaller than that by any number, you're not going to be able to make a triangle. You can imagine, like, if it only goes down to here, you're never going to be able to touch that side. It's just going to hinge back and forth like that. You'll never be able to get down here. So if we can say that A is less than 8.45, then no triangle can exist. Sweet! Let's move on to part C. We want to make it so that exactly one obtuse triangle exists. Now, think about this. The problem is with these triangles that sometimes, if you remember all those different cases we looked at, sometimes you can get two different triangles given the same length of A. That's a problem because for C we want specifically one triangle. So think about it like this. Right now both those green lines are showing values of A that will allow us to have two triangles. So think about it like this. If you make that line bigger and bigger, as you think about your triangle to the left, you're going to reach a point where it can't get any bigger, and that if it's actually the same length as 18, you don't have a triangle anymore. So if you become greater than 18 centimeters, if that line is greater than 18 centimeters, and remember, we still need that 28-degree angle there, so we can't like flip our triangle or anything. But if we go bigger than 18 centimeters, then we're not going to be able to have that second triangle. But we could go as big as we want in this direction, because this line can always extend out. So as long as A is greater than 18, there will only be one possible obtuse triangle that we can make. So finally, last one, D, we want two possible triangles. Well, combine everything we just said so far. If A is less than 8.45, we don't have a triangle. If A is 8.45, we have exactly one triangle, the right triangle. So think about this. If A is bigger than 8.45, that's when we're going to start to get in even if it's ever so slightly bigger, we're going to start to get into this two-triangle world where we can go on either side. Well, you're going to be able to continue that all the way up until the point where A hits that side length 18, because then we're only going to be in the one triangle world again. So we just need A to be between those two values. It needs to be greater than 18. My bad, that's a lie. It needs to be less than 18, right? Because if we're less than 18, we can still make two possible triangles, but it needs to be greater than 8.45, because if it's equal to 8.45, it's right, and then there's only one triangle we can make. And if it is less than 8.45, no triangles will exist. So these are the four conditions that we have. And we're done with the study guide, so pat yourself on the back.